Yeah. Run it up, Blondo. Run it up, Blondo.
Wow, so that actually happened. The Magic moved up, like they moved up in the lottery, and that's never happened during my whole life as a Magic fan. It feels surreal, and it came at the perfect time for us with where we're at with our rebuild. I know there isn't a surefire franchise-changing prospect like Shaq in this draft, but winning this lottery is a huge step towards building a contender, and it'll hopefully accelerate the timeline of our rebuild. And for that to happen, the Magic front office have the task of finding the real franchise cornerstone prospect from this draft. There's always one in every draft, even in all-time weak ones like the 2015 one, which still had Booker and Karl Anthony Towns, and the 2013 draft, which of course had Giannis and Antetokounmpo. I've already made a video on Chet Holmgren, and will be making a video soon on Jabari Smith Jr. Both of them are top 2 on my board. Paolo is not as high on my board, and it's not because I don't believe that he'll be good, it's more about his fit with Franz Wagner. You see, Paolo will be another player on our team who's going to need the ball in his hands, and that's going to further stunt Franz's growth. I feel like we finally hit a home run with Franz Wagner, and the only thing that's going to prevent him from reaching his potential is a team botching his development. But yeah, Paolo is still number 3 on my board behind Chet and Jabari, and all 3 of them are going to be impactful from day one as rookies and will continue to be for a long time. But do all 3 of them have first team All-NBA type potential? Maybe, but they'll need to put in work to get there. Without a consensus number 1 overall pick in this draft, we have to examine all options available for the Magic. There is one other prospect who has all the tools of being a top 5 player at his peak and could sneak up into top pick consideration soon. His stock has been rising lately and could rise even more as he continues to impress and drop jaws at his workouts, and the prospect that I'm referring to is named Shaedon Sharpe, who fits the perfect archetype of a modern wing and the type of player that the Magic need the most. We could outright pick him number 1 overall or trade down and pick up some assets from the Thunder, Rockets, or Kings. And the one player that they trade down for is Shaedon Sharpe because he fits the needs of the Magic to a T. Now, why isn't he a surefire number 1 overall pick if he truly has MVP level potential? Well, it's because he's such a mystery. He's essentially a prospect coming out of high school despite spending 6 months at Kentucky. He didn't play basketball at Kentucky, nor overseas or in the G League. What makes him even more of an enigma is that he barely played top level high school basketball. He saw limited time on the floor as a high school freshman and then the same as a sophomore. It wasn't until he transferred to Dream City Christian in Arizona when he finally got playing time and blew up his stock. And he skipped his senior year to enroll at Kentucky, which he did very late. Taking Shaedon Sharpe with the number 1 overall pick or a top 5 pick if we trade down in a draft that's crucial for our future will be a huge risk. However, his tools could be too enticing to pass up. And I'm not only referring to his physical tools like his 7-foot wingspan and his plus 45-inch vertical, but also his advanced combo moves for his age and his smooth jump shot. He isn't a raw prospect that you have to develop a lot. He possesses every ISO move that you need and doesn't need years and years of development like AG and Hazonia needed, for example. All he needs is proper guidance, veteran leadership, and to learn to show more of a killer instinct like Anthony Edwards, for example, to reach his potential. I don't want to get too ahead of myself because Sharpe has yet to face NBA level competition, but he could be the go-to scorer that we need to reach the next level. We have to treat him like a hyped high school prospect. He could be the next Kobe or T-Mac, but on the other hand, he could easily become J.R. Smith, Darrell Wright, Gerald Green. The latter 3 had solid careers after skipping college, but not players you would spend a top 5 pick on. There isn't enough tape or stats to make a long breakdown video like I did for Chet Holmgren, but I'm going to do my best to give you all an idea of Sharpe and what he could potentially bring to the Orlando Magic. So let's get into the breakdown. Shaedon Sharpe is a bouncy athlete with a strong build who has the potential to score on all 3 levels. If I can describe his game in just one word, then it would be effortless. He gets to his spot with his strong frame, handles, and shiftiness without any hassle. He glides through the air for layups and gets up quickly for dunks. The game just comes easy for him, and at times it looks like he's not even trying out there. He's very T-Mac-ish in that way. He could sleepwalk and drop 30. You know, when T-Mac got hot, it looked like he was the only one on the court shooting at an empty gym. And that's the same vibe I get from watching Shaedon's clips, especially from Peace Jam, the tournament that catapulted him to number 1 overall ranking. And all this is not a dig at his effort or motor because it actually takes a lot of skill and effort to make basketball look so easy. And I know scoring 30 against NBA teams like T-Mac did versus AAU teams is not a proper apples to apples comparison, but I hope you get what I'm trying to get across about Sharpe's effortless scoring, especially for a teenager. He's comfortable shooting off the dribble, can change speed well, and has shooting range for days. He has an array of counter-dribble moves such as hezzies, in and out dribbles, a smooth delayed tween dribble. His shot making ability is also impressive. For example, he can catch and shoot, make step back threes, sidestep threes, pull-ups, etc. All these moves will translate pretty well to the pros because Sharpe has a very aesthetic looking jump shot. Every shot of his looks identical with the fluid release, good arm extension, and arc. You know, we'd finally be able to draft a guard who we won't have to spend countless time trying to fix their jump shot. It seems like Sharpe significantly improved as a shooter over the summer of 2021. He shot only 3 for 16 in his last high school year, but then proceeded to shoot a respectable 36%, making 28 out of 77 attempts at the EYBL circuit. At that circuit, he showed better ability to shoot off the catch and stop and pop during fast breaks. He's by no means a knockdown shooter yet, but he has the form, release, and the confidence of being a great shooter down the line as he develops. He'll be one of those players that'll shoot 32% from 3 in his rookie season and then improve to 36% in his second year and then gradually progress from there. The same trajectory that Anthony Edwards is currently going through, for example. Now, while Shaedon does have all-time level hops, he doesn't have a lightning quick first step to match it. He's not Jalen Green, Jaden Ivey, or Tyrese Maxey in that regard. However, he still is quick enough and also has some herky-jerky moves like Markelle to get to the rim. And when he does attack, he finishes extremely well. He can take contact well and score while also having great body control in the air to avoid contact, like this sweet reverse layup right here. Furthermore, from watching his tape, I can tell that he can play off the ball well. You can see here that he moves past his defender for an open layup, he makes backdoor cuts and can move well for open three-pointers. With his elite athleticism, he's always going to be a threat to cut backdoor and for lobs. Alright, let's get into some areas of his game that he needs to work on. While his playmaking ability is not poor, it still has to improve if he wants to be a high usage player in the future. Numerous scouting reports have stated that Sharpe lacks pick and roll IQ. However, from my own eye test of him, he can make basic reads off pick and rolls like hitting the roll man with a pocket pass or kicking it out to the corner for an open 3. I've also seen him make timely passes out of doubles in a very calm manner. He can facilitate from the high post, although he was able to since he was usually bigger than his opponents in high school. While his ability to playmake within the half court on the next level is still in question, his transition playmaking on the other hand should not be. He's quick to find open shooters, trailers, and lob threats out on the fast break. He doesn't have any hero ball tendencies, so that's a good sign that his career won't steer towards an inefficient chucker route even if he doesn't become a star player. The game comes so easy to him that you'll see him randomly pull off flashy passes like this behind the back pass right here, and he showed good vision right here by finding an open teammate in the paint from near half court. His playmaking abilities right now is solid, however there is potential of growth in that aspect of his game. At his very best, he could be a primary playmaking option in the mold of a 6'6" Paul George, but the most likely scenario would be of him becoming a good secondary playmaking option. Sharpe has good core vision and is calm when under pressure when being double teamed or triple teamed by the opposing defense. And speaking of defense, his own defensive abilities are still a question mark. He shifts his feet well laterally and makes good reads when helping to contest a shot. His main issue is that he was caught ball watching a lot during his high school games. He also gets killed on screens and tends to gamble for steals a lot. His one-on-one defense is average right now. He has strong hands and his lateral quickness helps him stay in front of his opponent, but he needs to learn to not be too upright when defending. As you can see from these clips, he loves chase down blocks and blocking shots as a help side defender. His immense 7-foot wingspan for his size will make him a menace by disrupting passing lanes. He'll be like Markelle, a respectable defender, nothing great, but his length and shiftiness will make him not exploitable and solid enough to guard out on the perimeter. To transition onto another topic surrounding Shaedon Sharpe, there are some that fear that Sharpe could be overhyped like Emoni Bates and Jaden Hardy for example. There are some that believe that he could have been exposed like them if he had played at Kentucky, but there's no basis to that argument. For one, Sharpe is several tiers above them athletically and already has an NBA ready physique. They also lack the variety of moves that Sharpe has in his arsenal. The same goes for RJ Hampton, Darius Barsley, who are recent players that have struggled in the NBA after skipping college. Sharpe is on another level skill-wise compared to those two. To finish off, Shaedon Sharpe is the ultimate swing for the fences pick because there isn't enough game tape on him for a team to make a choice to draft him with 100% confidence. John Hammond is known to be a slugger, from picking Giannis Antetokounmpo to Thon Maker. He might take a few singles here and there for a couple of years, like last year when he and Wellman took the obvious pick in Jalen Suggs and also the quote-unquote safe pick with Franz Wagner. I don't think he knew how much game Franz actually had in his locker. But yeah, Shaedon will be a huge gamble, and frankly, it's time that we take one. History has favored the Magic whenever they've taken risks, from trading #1 overall pick Chris Webber for Penny Hardaway at a time when trading a big for a guard was considered blasphemous, to drafting a high schooler #1 overall in Dwight Howard instead of the meteor darling at the time, Emeka Okafor. And at that time in the early 2000s, high school centers were the ones who were falling way short of expectations. Each gamble has worked out for the Magic as they eventually became contenders by adding Penny, and then a little over a decade later with Dwight. And maybe that's the same formula that we need to get back into contention again. Alright Magic fans, that concludes this video. Please like this video if it helped you learn more about a prospect and brought some value. And also subscribe or promote this channel to others who would also find my channel informative and entertaining. Be on the lookout for more prospect breakdown videos headed your way soon. Thanks for the love, and go Magic.